get ready with me while I talk about nobody showing up to my meet and greet. I'm so embarrassed by this whole situation because I was expecting thousands of my fans to show up to my meet and greet, and it turns out nobody.
It turns out nobody showed up. Well, that's Natalie Reynolds, a young TikTok influencer who lost her TikTok account. Well, TikTok is a capricious site, but she lost hers apparently for some prank that she pulled, convincing a homeless woman to jump into a lake. And apparently the woman couldn't swim. She supposedly told the woman she was going to jump in with her and that she could swim. And then when the woman jumped in for $20, desperate for money, she walked away. At least that's what's being reported online. I don't know what really went down there. I don't really follow little beboppers like this that run around looking for instant fame. But fame that's unearned is fleeting. Deeds, accomplishments earn people fame, not peroxide and shorty shorts. But there are plenty of people famous for peroxide and shorty shorts on social media. And it just shows you how vapid and brainless our world has become. People of accomplishment don't get two looks, but this sort of thing. So this also just reminds me just how fleeting things are. I have to tell you that I've been very humble about my meet and greets from the very beginning. My first tour going back to South Africa after the COVID lockdown, I had lots of people show up. Our biggest one was in Pretoria with about 60 people, as I recall, showed up at that one. It was pretty incredible. I was very humbled by all of it. The smallest one was in Hermanus with 7 people who came through a driving torrential rainstorm. It was almost like a hurricane to attend it. I was very humbled by that. In fact, they brought the pizza, and they've come to several of my meet and greets, many of them since then. I got to meet a 90-year-old lady. She was wonderful. So that was the first time. The second time, as I expected, there was less interest because my channel wasn't growing, so it was the same people. And some of the same folks came, Dylan being one of those, and many others, Erica being another, came to as many as they possibly could. And then the third trip, some went well. Some of my meet and greets, nobody showed up, not a single person, but I did sit there and cry about it. I ordered some food and, enjoyed my humbleness. And then this last trip, the 5th trip to South Africa in the past 2.5 years, was off the hooks. It was unbelievable. It was right off the hook. It was crazy. Of course, it had a lot to do with the refugee program that President Trump announced, but also had to do with the fact the channel went from 20 to, 80,000 subscribers. When I got to South Africa, I think it was about 65,000 subscribers. We wound up at, or 70, was it 70,000 went to South Africa? We wound up at 80,000 by the time I left. And a lot had to do with that. And everywhere I went, we had people. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had 18 meet and greets. We had at least 1,400 people that showed up at them. And many people didn't get a chance to come because of security reasons. I didn't announce my meet and greets until shortly before they were executed, which made it difficult for some people to make it. But nonetheless, people travel from all across the country to come to them. And instead of letting my head swell, I accept that I'm very humble about that it's wonderful that people want to come and meet me and hear what I have to say. And that's why I spend so much time. This last time I did 4, 5, and 6 hour long meet and greets, asking people or answering people's questions, shaking hands, meeting people. And I try to make a concerted effort before every meet and greet starts to go around and say hello to as many people as possible who've come. Because people take time out of their busy lives and use their fuel, their petrol, their gasoline to get to these events and spend money to come to these things. And it's very kind. And some of them even give, super chats. I appreciate that, without the middleman. And many people bring lovely gifts that they want to give. And I'm very grateful for that. Humility is important. And this stuff comes and goes. If I have a meet and greet and nobody shows up, I won't be in tears. It doesn't reflect on my character. It doesn't change who I am. I don't need meet and greets to reach self-actualization. I can achieve that elsewhere. But I am greatly humbled and find it to be a wonderful experience to meet people who come to these events. It's a lovely experience, whether we're in Blaubergstrand or we're in Bloemfontein or Clarens or Amanzimtoti, Ballito, Pretoria. Doesn't matter where we're at. It's a lovely event. And I appreciate each and every one of the people who come to it, except for somebody who got a snap so they could promote their fraud. You know who you are. But everyone else, thank you so much for coming. I really enjoy it. And I feel bad for this young lady. Apparently her self-worth is tied up in affirmation from others, and the fact that nobody came to her meet and greet crushed her. Well, that's sad, and I hope that she recovers from it. But perhaps take a lesson in it, young lady. Don't pull pranks at the expense of other people trying to make them look foolish. You're welcome to do that to public celebrities, politicians in particular, Hollywood actors. Make them look silly because, they deserve it. But the average person on the street doesn't deserve that kind of scorn. So maybe a lesson to be taken from this. But again, if that's where you're at in this world, you need affirmation from people showing up to meet and greet. You need to check your priorities and balance your life out. If nobody comes to my meet and greets, it'll be okay. I'll enjoy my milkshake and my schnitzel or whatever it is I have with it. And for the handful of people who come, we'll just have more time to chat if you want. If a lot of people come, all the better. It's all family. Cheers, folks.